22nd, 2013. Notice of this meeting was commonly posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Belmar.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and remember our troops abroad and their families here at home. Thank you. The council would like to join me up today for a couple special presentations. Our DPW director could also come join us. So we've recently had two new DPW hires. You know, we always do something when the police come up, they get sworn in. So we want to make sure that we do something, you know, to recognize our new DPW employees. So our DPW director is Mike Campbell. I'm sure everyone knows him. So I wanted to say a few things about the folks who got hired.
We had a lot of applicants apply, a lot of good applicants apply, to be quite honest. But James Riley and John Sergi are both local guys. James has worked for us for the last 5 years. Started out in just summers, but then he was working in between college and things like that. We were very happy to have him apply and stay with us. He's definitely planning on continuing his education. He's the type of boy, young man, that we're very, very proud of. Very smart, well educated, and will continue his education. Right now, he's been running the sweeper since we've had the new sweeper. He's the guy that's out every day. So if you like the way your streets are being swept, thanks, James. If you don't like it, you can yell at me. But James is the one that's got the talent. He's our sweeper guy, and he's also got a CDL, and he's one of our large truck drivers. He's a great addition. James, you want to stand up, please?
Well, James, want to come on forward?
More than giving him accolades, it's nice that you all know the faces, so that you see James. Again, we try and make sure everybody is friendly to our people in town and very welcoming. But if you have an issue with anybody, I want you to know who they are. They should be in uniform when they're out there, but if not, this handsome young gentleman is ours, and we're very glad to have him. The second gentleman that we hired has been in Belmar his whole life. His name is John Sergi. He could not be here tonight, unfortunately, got hurt at work today. Horribly, but we were building something, we were building a lean-to, and he got something in his eye, a piece of wood or something, so he scratched his cornea. So he just got out from the emergency room a little while ago, and the doctor gave him Percocet and asked him just to stay home. I guess they haven't patched up, and he didn't want to come here and be called patches or anything like that for the rest of his life. So, but he's very happy to be here. He's been with us for the last 2.5 years. He's been mostly down at the beach, but then we were lucky enough to keep him since Sandy. He's been working with us pretty much every day. He does everything. He's got a CDL on his own, very driven, and again, he's very mechanically inclined, as is James. James also works, when he's not doing the sweeper, he's in the shop, the mechanic shop with Billy, working on cars and fire trucks. James is that way, and so is John. So as a town, as a resident, as a director, we're very happy to have both gentlemen. I think it's a great addition. Very polite young men, and I think will serve you all very well. So, welcome.
Next, you know, we do our monthly Employee of the Month, and hopefully everyone enjoyed Kathy Lane's giant picture up on the Route 35 sign. So our Employee of the Month for this month, for December, comes from the DPW, and it's Joe Neal. And he's a Dolphins fan, evidently. Let me just say a few things about Joe. He's worked for the borough for 28 years. Joe's a dedicated, loyal, and hardworking member of the DPW team. He's volunteered as a coach for Little League and basketball for Belmar over 20 years. And Joe loves Belmar and is dedicated to ensuring that our parks and beaches are well maintained, safe, and beautiful. So let's hear it for our Employee of the Month.
I would like to just say about Joe, if I had all employees like Joe, it'd be a wonderful thing. He gets there early in the morning. He eats at the exact same time. At his first break, he eats at the exact same time for his lunch every day. He cuts the same amount of grass every single day. He's a hard worker. Never have to push him, never say, did you get it done? Everything you assign was just done. He's more than a pleasure to work with. He's a good mentor for our young guys like James. He was actually teaching one of our guys just going for a CDL test on how to operate the bigger trucks. And he's a really, really great employee. Belmar's very, very lucky to have him.
He's a good worker.
He's a good worker. I knew if I told you, you wouldn't come.
Oh, hold on a second.
I got a story. Back in 1970, my first year as recreation director, Joe came voluntarily to help me and to referee the basketball games. I used to call, I probably called about 3, maybe 4 times to the Nealon home, and Mrs. Nealon answered it and says, is Joe coming down tonight? We have him scheduled at 6 o'clock. And Mrs. Nealon said yes. After about the 3rd or 4th night, Mrs. Nealon said, Brian, did you tell Joe to be there at 6 o'clock? I said yes. Then he will be there at 6 o'clock. For the next 20 years, I never called, and at 6 o'clock, the door always opened, and Joe was there.
Well, I want to enjoy Joe's picture up on the sign around the What was it again? It's a $100 courtesy of the Belmar Business Partnership to spend on Belmar businesses of his choosing, and a bonus day off in December of 2013. So great. And also, one other person who sat down before we could mention a tremendous accomplishment. So yesterday, I got by our Director of Public Works, Mike Campbell. There's a test that everyone who runs the Department of Public Works has to take to be certified. And this allows you ultimately to become the superintendent. And very recently, Mike took that test. We've been waiting for results, and they came back, and as expected, he passed with flying colors.
Raise on your hand.
How it goes?
One of the things you'll notice tonight is we are without our clerk. She's on vacation somewhere, so Colleen will be acting as clerk. And also, we don't seem to have our microphones, so we will be projecting our voices. If by chance you can't hear us, please just raise your hand. Don't start shouting out. We'll try to be louder.
Plenty of seats up front.
And there's plenty of seats up front, that's true. Next is our workshop. Only thing I had on for workshop, which I didn't add on, was meeting days and nights for 2014. One of the changes I'd like to make, very, very minor, instead of meeting on the same time, but instead of meeting on Wednesdays, if we could meet on Tuesdays. So right now we meet the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of the month. If we could do the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month. And I spoke with Councilwoman-elect Blackburn, and she was supportive of that change. Any members of council?
I think it'll be good because the way we have now, Wednesdays, we're past the deadline for notice in the newspaper, like the Co-Star, which most people read.
What's that?
So our meeting tonight won't be, people won't read about until next week. If we have the meetings on Tuesdays, and then the deadline, and the reporter can report on it, it can be in Thursday's paper. So our meetings will be a lot more current if we have the meetings on Tuesday in the Co-Star, which covers our our meetings.
That's a lot of pressure.
A lot of writing on it. So,
All right, well, everyone okay with Tuesdays?
I can't think of a reason. Why not?
All right, so we'll just let the clerk know that.
and that starts when, in January?
Yeah, yeah. So the only date that's gonna be odd in January is gonna be our reorg, which, you know, the newly elected, we're the ones who really have an interest in. So we're gonna do that, you know, we usually do it, you have to do it within the first 6 days of the calendar year, I believe. So we're gonna look to do it on Saturday, January 4th. So, not that people don't feel 100% on January 1st at 12 noon, but there may be a few that wake up late that morning. So if we could do it, we'll do it Saturday, January 4th at 12 noon. And again, that's just reorganization. So it's not there's no public comment during that meeting, just reorg.
Okay.
All right. So that's workshop petitions. Any petitions for the mayor and council? None. Okay. Next will be reports of the mayor and council. And before we do that, one thing I do want to mention is we're going to have this is kind of ruining the surprise at the end, but typically we go through our resolution calendar, then our ordinances, then we have a public hearing, and then we adjourn. Well, tonight we're going to change things around a little bit. We're going to do the same thing, but then we're going to have, at the end, we're going to close public portion and then go into a special presentation because unfortunately, tonight is Claire Dykey's last night on the council. She is leaving us in retirement. So we're going to do a special presentation, but we want to wait until sort of towards the end of the evening. And we'll give folks an opportunity if they want to say some comments from the public as well about Claire, but I know that members of the council would like to as well. So that's the only thing that's going to be a bit out of order, would be a special presentation at the end. So next would be reports of mayor and council. Councilman McGovern?
How about if I go first?
Yes, sir.
Last week I was at the Harbor Commission meeting, and the main topic of the Harbor Commission was the marina. And they really emphasized, they really feel as if we need to develop a plan for the maintenance dredging, because at low tide around the docks, it's some of the bigger boats just really can't get out. So we've got to come up with a plan. It's more difficult than it sounds because we'd have to put the dredge somewhere. I talked to Paul Calabrese. He has an idea, but you know, it's something we're really going to have to work on and with the state, because in a couple of years, if that river keeps on filling up, we're going to have a real problem keeping our bigger boats in the boat slips there. Last Saturday, I went to a program at the library. I want to compliment the library staff. They had a talk by Deborah Rosenberg, who wrote a book on Bruce Springsteen. She used to live on 10th Avenue in Belmar, and it was very well attended at the Tarzian Media Room at the library, and which has just been redone by Mike. Was it the DPW guys that did it?
The floor, we did some of this work, but the floor was done by an outside company.
I'll tell you, the Tarzian Media Room looks great. It was tremendous. Many of the people who were at the seminar were from out of town, and they're very, very impressed with our Belmar library. So that was great. That was good. Today at the Belmar Shade Tree Commission, we set our dates for 2014, and we agreed that we wanted to have a program for 2014 here to make Belmar a Tree City USA for 2014. So we're going to try and develop a program where a lot of residents who lost trees, street trees, not on your property, street trees, can fill out an application which was being developed by Neil Scheck. And Dorsey Latza is researching street trees that will fit in different areas in town. And we'll come up with an application that the people can apply for, and a shade tree will come out and plant it for you as long as you agree to maintain that tree, you water that tree, fertilize that tree. Again, we can get some trees back along the roadway that we lost after the storm. So that's my report.
Thank you, Council.
You are welcome.
Council President Dyke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the ADA Committee, which I chair, Borough Administrative Staff, and I will be meeting with representatives of the New Jersey Transit Board tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to discuss the possibility of a handicapped accessible ramp at our train station. The meeting will be held in the community room here. It's my hope that the meeting will be productive in terms of what we hope to accomplish. Thanks to all who have contributed to the Mayor's Wellness Campaign Holiday Food Drive, which will run until December 20th. The food pantry at the Methodist Church has recently reopened after Hurricane Sandy. Please remember to continue to donate to this pantry, as well as the one at the Calvary Baptist Church and the Presbyterian Church. I was pleased to learn that Belmar received over $1.7 million for FEMA for marina reservations and upgrade, which will include the comfort stations, electrical work on the docks, and repair of the docks post-Sandy. Please remember that MOVE, which stands for Manasquan Organization of Volunteer Efforts, will assist people in Belmar who are still suffering from the devastations of Sandy. A well-organized furniture bank affiliated with MOVE has assisted in replacing furniture lost from the storm. Let people know who might need their help. I received a certificate of appreciation recently from Centra State Medical Center for Belmar's involvement in the Choose Your Cover program. This initiative is a skin cancer screening event which has been held at our beachfront for the past 4 years. This past summer, 175 people were screened and 43 were referred for biopsies. As my days as councilwoman draw to a close, I wish to thank the many people who assisted me in representing the wonderful people of Belmar. I have some compliments to dispense, and I hope that you're patient with me while I do this. Robin Kirk has done an outstanding job as Chief Financial Officer during my years as councilwoman. A great business administrator as well. As CFO, she was exact and precise with financial dealings, and budget preparation has always been perfectly executed. Thanks to Robin for always providing me with the information I requested. April Claudio is perfection as Borough Clerk. She performs her responsibilities in an organized, professional way. Never did I have to wait 1 minute when I asked for her help on various issues. Mark Plummer, before who I also worked with, was delightful and extremely professional as well. Bill Young, former business administrator, always managed to assist me with issues and concerns brought to me by Belmar residents. Never was a problem too large or too small for him. Never was there a quicker learn than Colleen Connolly. She mastered all that was necessary to know as business administrator in a matter of days, and has been vigilant in investigating grants that would benefit the borough. Mike Campbell, outstanding DPW supervisor, has brought to the borough new ideas and streamlined various aspects of the DPW activities. Andy Murley before him never said no to me with any of my crazy projects, and would always say, I'll see what I can do to help. He never said, no, Claire, I can't do that for you. I so enjoyed working with you, Tom Palmisano. He's always organized and thorough as he executes the duty as Chief Law Enforcement Officer. Tom has been most helpful in putting into place parking spaces for the handicapped throughout town. Michael DuPont, our legal advisor, fully explains his position on issues coming before the borough, and I thank you, Ed, as well. Carl Ken before him. I worked with Carl, had great respect for him. Always put careful consideration into all of the legal matters that came before him as borough attorney. And I want to tell you, I don't have a legal background, and some of my questions I think were kind of not really smart. And Michael and Carl were always very respectful and never treated my questions as kind of silly or stupid, so I appreciate that very much. Ray Claudio, a great recreation director, has expanded programming to include individuals with special needs. He's worked extremely well with me during his tenure. Mary Brabazon and Kelly Williams, I thank them for the senior parties. Katie Garrett, excellent job as supervisor of our court system. Her department operates like a well-oiled machine. To all of those employed by the borough, whether it be in the borough offices, the DPW staff, the police department, the court, or at the beachfront, I thank you for making my job so easy. I was raised by a mother who would say, if you're doing something, you can't give 110%, then don't even begin trying. I was always tried to never disappoint, and I love serving the wonderful people of Belmar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone.
Councilman Dean?
Thank you, Mayor. I just would like to put a shout out to the Tandem Bike Inn. Over the weekend, they had a Santa Claus come in for special needs children, and I was able to bring my son, Alex. There's nothing worse than standing in a line with normal kids waiting on Santa Claus and, you know, having my son there. And I tell you, our bed and breakfasts in Belmar are absolutely wonderful. I've been in probably about 4 of them, and they're a treasure that I think should be more well known in New Jersey. So just thank you, Tandem Bike Inn, and that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
I'll try to be brief, trying. I do want to first start by just saying I was part of the group that interviewed for the new DPW positions, and I was very pleased and extremely proud that everybody that was interviewed said how much they wanted the job, and those that were already employees of the borough DPW department said that they loved their jobs and all they wanted to do was to work here as long as they could. So kudos to you, Mike Campbell, and it was a pleasure to interview them. I want to start with the Belmar Elementary School. Through Friday, they're accepting, or they're doing a clothing drive for the families in need. Clothing, linens, sheets, shoes, even stuffed animals. So if you have anything, please, for the school hours, if you can go to the front door and make a donation, that'd be great. Tomorrow night is their holiday concert, and the chorus is singing at 7 o'clock, if you can attend that. Belmar Recreation, just a couple updates, is very general. All programs are going very well, and the children are very excited to be part of that. They're having basketball practice right now, toddler time, and the Belmar Youth Club. And if you do know some children that are 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th, 7th, 8th grade, the Belmar Youth Club has 2 programs for both of them, or a program for both. DPW, they've been reading meters, picking up brush and leaves, placing the holiday decorations around town. I hope you've seen them, the flutter flags, they look great. They hired the new two workers, as you know. They've fixed 3 water issues on 13th, 7th, and 5th Avenue. And we have, let me see here, we're excited about Santa coming to town and sending him through to homes.
On Monday.
Yes. You want to elaborate?
Sure. On Monday is 16th. DPW, it was a long-standing tradition, the fire department used to take Santa around to each of the homes and present a gift to the children that was left by the parents either at DPW or on their porch. It was just stopped, I don't know for what reason over the last several years, but I know when my children, who are now 32 and 33, were small, they enjoyed it very much, having Santa come in, greet them, and get them excited for Christmas. So I met with the guys from DPW. They wanted to do something to give back. It's a much different climate than it was last year. We were, still working with Sandy, so they wanted to do something to be more festive and give something back. So on Monday night, we will be doing it starting at 6 o'clock. Anybody who's interested and wants us to come to their home, they can contact our 601 Main Street. Leave a gift with the child's name and an address, and we will come by and Santa will present your child a gift and good words and make sure they're on their best behavior until Christmas Eve.
That is great. And the borough now has a new pet, a pet goat. A new worker. Oh, sorry, new worker. New worker, it is a goat that is helping us with the poison ivy around the school and lakes at the marina. And I thought that wasn't such a bad idea. That was hard to do with a sore throat. It'd be better next time. I won't have a sore throat. Okay. The BPP, the Belmar Business Partnership, bought holiday wreaths and ribbons for our different businesses in town to display on their storefront. We donated $100 to the Employee of the Month, as you know, we just stated. And we provided a grant to Brandles for their new awning, their new outside structure. So if you have a moment to check that out, it looks very nice. And lastly, Belmar Arts Council, if you have some time, please go over to WUF, W-U-F, Wearable, Usable, Functional Show. Beautifully handcrafted fine arts and crafts are on display, and they're for purchase for the holiday season. And they do gift wrapping as well. I did attend, I bought numerous items, so if you have a moment, please check that out. This Friday at 9 p.m., there is a tribute to Lou Reed that Joe Harvard's presenting, and is a musical, obviously a musician will be playing Lou Reed songs. And they're just getting ready for the new year. There are 2 new elected co-chairs for the Belmar Arts Council, Allie Martin and John Hutchinson. You all know him as Hutch. They're both tremendous artists, and they will be a huge asset to the Arts Council. And that is it.
Thank you, Councilman.
You're welcome.
We're going to have some more changes to our resolution and ordinance calendar, and it kind of ties into what is in my report. First thing, Colleen has been working for the last 6-7 months on project worksheets with FEMA regarding our pavilions. Now, if you remember, we originally talked about the cost of pavilions and anticipated receiving $0 from FEMA, always basing things on the worst case scenario. Well, right now, for both buildings, looks like FEMA will be awarding us through the project worksheets $4.1 million, which is obviously a significant amount of money. Now, based on our most recent cost estimates, the total is about 7.1. Colleen and I went, I guess maybe the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, to down to Trenton to talk with the folks, both at DCA and also the governor's office, about additional monies. We have a meeting this Tuesday, the 16th, with a gentleman named Mark Frazan, who essentially is the czar over the recovery effort in New Jersey. And one of the things we learned, somewhat unfortunately, but not totally unfortunately, is that the money that they dispense comes from the Housing and Urban Development. It's federal money, and it's called Community Development Block Grant money. So the acronym, or the letters, are CDBG. Now, when talking with them, our project may be eligible for CDBG money, which, if you think us partnering that up with $4.1 million from FEMA, that goes a long way towards covering possibly the entire cost, if not most of the cost, obviously, with the FEMA money does, even more of the cost for the buildings. Downside is, FEMA is a reimbursement engine. So with FEMA, you build it, you work with them on the worksheets, you submit what you did, and then you get reimbursed from it. CDBG, you have to get approved first before you're eligible for those grant dollars. So one of the things we're going to be doing today is we're going to be amending our ordinance calendar, removing the 2 ordinances that are on for the bonds for the buildings, because we need to first meet with the state and see what money we would be eligible for this new pot of money. The total pot, and it sounds a lot more than unfortunately really is $1.4 billion. More than half of that is already spoken for through housing projects, but the other projects are for infrastructure much like this. So it's only prudent for us, if we're able to get those dollars, to amend the calendar, take them off, go through the meeting with them, see if we are eligible, see what that process is. They're just rolling the process out now, and but it looks more and more likely that we're going to get additional dollars on top of the FEMA dollars to help us cover the expense of those pavilions. So if we have to delay it, but if it's worth it in the end to get good solid buildings and keep the cost to a minimum for our beachgoers and our taxpayers, it's well worth it. So I'll be offering to table those two once we get to the ordinance calendar. But that's some good news from FEMA, and hopefully we'll have some good news from the state. We won't know really probably until January. Second item, which is a contractual item. Every few years, we have to negotiate with our bargaining units regarding what their pay is going to be and benefits going forward. The one that sort of sets the standard is the PBA, the police department. The last time Belmar negotiated prior to our administration, it lasted 2 years, tangled up in courts with arbitration and a whole bunch of nonsense. What's nice is we're going to have something to the council, I guess in January, to ratify a contract with the PBA. It's the basic tenet of it. It's a 4-year contract with annual increases of 1.5% a year. In the previous one, they settled for zeros for a couple of years, but we thought that 1.5% over the next 4 years was a reasonable negotiation. So now that we're completed with the PBA, we're going to move forward with the CWA and our other bargaining units as well to try to get those contracts nailed down. And again, we're doing it in an effort, with the mindset of keeping it out of arbitration, out of the courts, because we end up spending tens of thousands of dollars on legal fees that, had you just come together and negotiated it in good faith, would have saved from the very beginning. So that's some good news on our PDA. Next 3 things are kind of fun things. Tomorrow night, we have a Belmar toy drive where I will be a guest bartender at Conley Station. And I even got where did I put it? I have my card that says I'm eligible to distribute alcohol. And it's going to be from 6 to 8. So if you come, I will be your bartender. I would suggest you order very simple drinks. Rum and Coke,
Water.
vodka tonic. If you order a rusty nail, you may end up with a Miller Lite. But I will tell you, and unfortunately this is being recorded, so if whoever's recording this can strike this, I don't know what anything costs. So don't tell the guys at Conley Station that either.
I don't think they're trusting you.
So please come. The idea is to bring in toys for families in Belmar. We still have families that are displaced in Sandy, and they're going to spend their second Christmas out of their home. In addition, we're working with Belmar Elementary School and St. Rose where we can on families that qualify for the free and reduced lunch program. And also, I think you may have seen the news that we reached out to Hess, because who doesn't love Hess trucks?
I love them.
Connie loves Hess trucks, and they donated 1,000 Hess trucks to us. So anyone who's good to us, I'd say we're good to them. So if you have to fill up, you see a gas station, if you see a Hess, get a tank of gas from Hess because they're helping our town. So. Oh, yeah, so the toy drive is to bring an unwrapped toy or $10. So if you're lazy like most of my friends, just bring the $10. If you're a responsible person like my wife, then you'll come with a toy. But either one works. Next, our tree lighting was postponed to this coming Friday. And the time on the tree lighting, Colleen, is?
About 5:30 things get started, the light will go on past 6.
About 5:30 things get started, the light goes on at 6. I know we're going to have the Belmar chorus. We'll be singing as well. So please come out for that. And we'll have Santa Claus. We'll have fire truck rides. And it's a good community event. So please come out for that on Friday. Next, our senior brunch is scheduled for December 21st, 11:30 at the First Aid Building. This is Franny Hines and his guys and women do a remarkable job every year for our seniors. So that's again Saturday, December 21st for our senior lunch or senior brunch at 11:30. And lastly, some useless trivia. We just had Thanksgiving, and we also had our friends celebrating Hanukkah. And the next time Thanksgiving and Hanukkah will intersect is in 70,000 years. So hopefully you said Happy Hanukkah and Happy Thanksgiving to your Jewish friends, because it's not going to happen for a very long time. That's all for me. Mazel tov. Next, can we have approval of the minutes?
Yes. I move that the minutes of the November 21st meeting be approved and that they be posted on the borough's website.
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dedeky?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay? Yes. Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next is a public session on our resolution calendar. This is just on the resolution calendar. Before we begin, very, very minor changes. On the second resolution, you'll see it says 7th Avenue water main. That actually should read storm drain. On the resolutions by consent, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down. Again, it says water main.
Yep.
Nope, that one's all right. Should everyone also say storm drain?
No, that one is actually the water main.
Oh, all right. So we got one water main and one storm drain. So the resolution authorizing emergency purchase is the storm drain.
Correct.
This is the one that
sinkholes.
Lozak finished
This is some months back.
months
for
back, and we're
horrible
finally getting around
sinkholes.
to paying. So if anyone has any comments on the resolution calendar, please raise your hand and we can call up front. See you none, sorry, yes, Gene. Ed, just move the microphone to the
That's what it doesn't work. Everybody can hear me anyway. Gene Kramer, 4th Avenue. Okay, I just have a question on the resolution here for the purchase of gasoline and diesel fuel. The numbers just didn't look right to me. Can you tell me what we are paying for gasoline?
Sure, I can pull it. This was a public bid that we did, it opened last week.
.06 was one of them. I saw that too. Wasn't it one of them? It was like .06.
I was gonna say, can I buy my gasoline over here at the house? It was like less than 6 cents a gallon.
Right.
That's not correct, I'm sorry, I need to pull the bid sheet to get the correct number.
I don't have
But-
the, I don't have the objection.
No, but just to be clear, we're awarding based on the lowest bid for
Yes.
supplying gas.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks, Gene. Seeing no other, I'll make a motion to close the public portion for resolution calendar.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next are the resolutions. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are listed not on the consent agenda. So I will offer and move for adoption the resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dedeky?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Just the mass communications speech telephone, just wondering what that is, 3,000.
That's our new carrier for phone service in the borough.
And that's an upfront cost?
That's, I think, our monthly payment.
Okay, those are new carrier, I got you. Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
And Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next resolution authorizing emergency purchase pursuant to MJSA 40A:11-6. This is the 7th Avenue, again, storm drain, not wind. Offer and move for adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dedeky?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
This went out to bid, it says right here, it went out.
No, we did not go out to bid. We did get quotes and awarded on an emergency purchase basis to Lozak.
Did I quote a bid? Is a quote a bid?
No?
I guess a bid, you get bid specs and quote, you just kind of,
Well, the emergency process, you don't need to go with lowest
But you
price
got
necessarily, but
more
it's
than
good.
one.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next resolution authorizing emergency purchase pursuant to NJSA 40A:11-6. This is the groundwater storage tank roof. The roof
We didn't know we needed it until we.
The roof is leaking. I'll offer a move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Just for the record, it went out for 3 bids.
Dr. Wojciech?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next, resolution approving the calendar 2014 special improvement district budget and setting the hearing on the budget. The hearing will be 28 days from today, is that correct?
Correct.
So that'll be the first Tuesday in January, which I believe is January 7th or 8th. I forget.
7.
We'll find out. But, so this is 7th?
Yep.
So it'd be, that 28 days?
Yes.
27 days?
Oh, we know, yeah.
Well, anyway, it's 28 days, so if it's not the 7th, it'll be the third, if it's not the first Tuesday in January, it'll be set for the third. So it's just gotta be at least 28
We
days.
will
So
clearly display the date on the website
Yes.
and in the newspaper.
yes. So I'll offer a move for adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next resolution, providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the budget of the Borough of Belmar pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87. I'll offer a move for its adoption, and once we get a second, Colleen can explain this to
Is
the
there a second?
Second.
Colleen, you want to explain this?
Yes, this is a grant that the council approved us going after, and we were subsequently awarded $29,000 smart planning grant, and this was to insert it into our budget for this year.
Thank you. Call roll.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Can I ask what's it going towards, or is it just a general?
It's a planning study for post-Hurricane Sandy in terms of incorporating smart planning into your recovery. Dave Roberts, our
Prevention?
planner, is, yes, helpful in the smart planning for rebuild.
Yes, thank you.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next is the consent agenda, unless anyone would like to remove anything.
There's one more
Oh,
insertion. There's one more revenue insertion.
Oh, sorry. Resolution providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the budget of the Borough of Belmar pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87. I'll offer a move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Want to explain this one too?
Yes, this is a grant that we pursued through the Department of Labor, and actually is a package through Monmouth County. We were able to perform recovery work utilizing workers off the unemployment rolls through the One Stop Center in Freehold. And so this is reimbursing the borough for, I'm trying to remember the total number, I think it was about $45,000 in labor costs that we spent recovering from Hurricane Sandy. That'll come back to the borough 100%.
Great.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. So next is the consent agenda, unless anyone has, would like to remove any of the items from the consent agenda.
I just want to compliment Tony on pursuing all these grants. I know that that is an amazing benefit to the community, and I just can't say enough about it. I give you high praise for that. Because I know it's a very arduous task, and I know it's a lot of back and forth, so you're to be commended on that.
We have a great team chasing it, so.
That's great.
I just have
Wow.
some questions.
You want anything removed or not?
I get questions first to find out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
The grant, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, does that grant, does that require us to do anything to receive that grant? Usually there's requirements to go along with the grant.
Sure, no, that's a $6.9 million Strong New Jersey grant through the EDA, and there's no local match on that.
Want to explain what we're looking to use that money for?
Sure, that is to rehabilitate and actually make over McCleary Park. Just after the storm, we commenced a conceptual redesign of McCleary to further enhance our open space. It includes, and what the largest cost driver of that grant, $6.9 million grant, is the replacement of the bulkhead, which was aging prior to the storm, damaged in the storm, and is quite a costly endeavor.
Right. The bulkhead around McCleary Park, as my friend Bill Young would say, is completely shot. So we didn't replace the walkway because it doesn't make sense to replace the walkway if you're gonna have to tear it back up to replace the bulkhead. So there's a lot of things that are put on hold at McCleary Park until we replace that bulkhead. And again, if you go down there, it's treacherous. You'll see it's falling into the Shark River. So this is again an ask of $6.9 million to make improvements, and then we can start looking at, you know, the conceptual design that we have. We presented it to folks who live in the McCleary Park area, you know, the Rhode Island Point section. And we did that at Turnstile Cafe back in March. Yeah. So, you know, this is now another step towards getting there, but, you know, it's important to try to secure this funding, so.
How long does that take to get the funding?
We've already been approved preliminarily to compete for the grant, and they're looking to fast track this money because it is recovery based, so hopefully within the next month or two.
Good. The pricing on the marina, are they going up, they going down, they staying the same? I did see it, but I didn't see last
Sure,
year.
it's the same rate increases we went with last year. It's 3% for most things.
So
Some things are staying the same.
Okay, but nothing's reduced?
No.
Same, okay.
Correct.
And that's all I have, I'm good.
I don't want to pull anything, can we just talk about the special event applications?
Sure.
You know, I just want to comment that, you know, during June, July, and August, at the top of Silver Lake, there's already 5 major special events planned. The 5-hour run, the Seafood Festival, the 5K, the Triathlon, Military Appreciation Day. You know, I think that's enough. I don't think we have to add any more large special events during the summertime at Silver Lake. So, I mean, we'll just keep that in the back of our mind. If we can talk to anybody that is planning any more special events, let them know that, you know, sometimes too much is not good.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I'm already mourning our new lawn.
Okay, and also there's some events that happen at Piano Plaza that, you know, I think we could maybe pull, and I see they're possibly already applied for and maybe scheduled for Piano Plaza this year that, you know, if we could talk about a little bit more, maybe scheduling them somewhere else, and some of the events that don't happen at Piano Plaza, moving them back to Piano
Let's
Plaza.
have a conversation about scheduling the plaza.
Right.
Well, why don't we do this? Because we're talking about things, I mean, it's December, so we've got plenty of time on this. Why don't we pull that resolution from the calendar?
Want to table it till next time?
Yeah, table it until next time.
Okay.
I know there was one on there that I didn't get a chance to talk to you about that I think Councilman Government's in agreement with, that we're not crazy about that happening at Piano Plaza, that I think they may have to go elsewhere.
We can certainly table that.
How do I do that? How do I pull this out? Just make a motion to remove that from the calendar? All right, so I'd like to make a motion to remove the resolution approving special event applications from the resolution calendar.
Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
What's the one who wants to? Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. All right, if there's no others to be taken off, I'll go ahead and make a motion to move and approve the consent agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes, next is our ordinance calendar. At this time, I'll make a motion to amend the ordinance calendar to remove ordinance 2013-20. This is the ordinance providing for the $4.7 or so million in bonds. So I'll offer and move for the adoption of amending the ordinance calendar to remove that ordinance.
Can we remove 20 and 21 at the same time?
Yes. All right, so I'll make a motion to remove both 2013-20 and 2013-21 from the resolution count, from the ordinance calendar.
Second?
Councilman McGovern.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay.
Yes.
Mayor Doherty.
Yes. Next is our first ordinance, 2013-19. Ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 42, alcohol beverage control of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Belmar to include limited brewery and plenary brewery licenses. This is for second reading and public hearing. So if any comments or any comments on this ordinance, please raise your hand, wait to be called, and come up front. Mr. Burke. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Thomas Burke, 608 10th Avenue. First of all, I'm completely for the plans for Friedman Bakery, but I do have a clarification. The ordinance says limited brewery and plenary brewery both being added to the, I'd like to know why we need both added.
Our existing ordinances never contemplated a brewery. So the brewery's gonna act like this. It doesn't serve food. It's not a bar. But they can make beer, right? They can brew it, and they can sell it. They can only sell their own beer. So if they make, one of the beers they make is Beach House. So they can make Beach House there, and they can sell Beach House there. They can't sell Budweiser, they can't sell Miller Lite, they can't sell any other products, can't sell any alcohol, can't sell any wine, but they can sell their own on the premises.
I understand that, and that's the limited brewery license, right?
Well, but the limited brewery is for them to make the beer. The plenary is for them to be able to sell it. So in other words, right now, the only establishments we have in town are ones where you go and buy alcohol variety and take it away from you. And other places where you go and you consume it there. This is something that isn't either one of those. It's one where they make it and then they sell their own product.
It's like a plenary retail license.
Right.
Well, I understand the word plenary, and it's a little, all-consuming word, and I wanted to make sure that we're not planning two different licenses. The way I read 33:1-10 of the New Jersey statutes, it would seem that the first type, the restricted, would, not the restricted, that's what it's.
Limited.
Limited allows for what's planned for that bakery.
Well, I mean, the best I can tell you is that this is what was recommended by our zoning attorney, so.
All right, so for clarification, if both are needed, both are being planned for the one location. We're not contemplating a second location,
It's just this location.
just this location,
Correct.
and just this owner, just this brewery. There's only going to be one establishment there.
One establishment, but in 2 years, they could sell to another one.
Correct. It's the same location.
Correct.
We're only talking about one location, even though we're talking two different types of licenses, two separate licenses.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. What if it turns out to be very successful and someone else wants to come in and have a brewery? Would we have to pass another ordinance, or can they use this ordinance to have a second brewery?
They would have to.
I think we need a new ordinance because these licenses are specific to a location.
Okay, so this can only go to where Friedman's is. If they do really well and someone says, hey, we could do well in Belmar too, they'd have to,
They could always buy it.
Right.
or if someone new wants to come in and buy another building in town.
Then you have to approve a transfer of the license.
Yeah. Did you have a follow-up on the same ordinance?
Yes, I'm reading the limited brewery license, and it says in addition to being able to brew malt or alcoholic beverages, further down in the statute, it says the holder of this license shall be entitled to sell this product at retail to any customers or licensed premises on the licensed premises of the brewery for consumption on the premises, but only in connection with the tour of the brewery, or such consumption off the premises in a quantity not to exceed 15.5 fluid gallons per person. So what the statute says is the limited brewery license does allow for both the brewing and the distribution. Therefore, I still question the need for the plenary license.
Right, I mean, again, the best I can tell you is that that's what's recommended by our zoning attorney.
As long as we're only doing one establishment.
John Carrallo, based here. Just a question, how come they don't have to pay any kind of a fee on this schedule? All our liquor establishments, one way or the other, whether it's a bar or a retail establishment, it says zero. We're not getting any kind of a liquor license fee?
The license comes from the state of New Jersey.
And these fees that we have on this, that's not the money that's collected yearly from Belmar? That goes into,
Yeah.
is this what, you know, the local bars or, you know, we have our different licenses, 6 years for those, 2 of those, and this says 0, 0. Why do they not have to pay anything?
State of New Jersey for this kind of micro, not even micro, it's a craft brewery license, there is no fee associated with it. That comes from the state.
So, we can't do that. Thank you.
Sure.
Whereas the other ones are, think of it, if you're Connolly Station, right, that license cannot leave Belmar. You can't take that license and go to Avalon.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's a Belmar license. This is not a Belmar license. This is a state license.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no others, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second? Second. Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next, I'll offer and move for adoption, ordinance 2013-19.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Let the brewing begin. Next is second reading public hearing ordinance 2013-22, ordinance of the Borough of Belmar and the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, providing cancellation of bond ordinance 2013-15 that was finally adopted on September 4th, 2013. This is simply cleaning up the old ordinance. So this is for public hearing. Anyone have any public comments on this? This again, it's not issuing bonds, it's just canceling an ordinance that was there before that required.
She could explain a little bit.
Sure, this is to essentially cancel the initial ordinances that we introduced and almost passed for the rebuilding of the pavilions.
Okay.
They were essentially replaced by the 2 above ordinances that we have tabled tonight.
Got it. Thank you.
Whereas the one we did, because we tabled the other ordinances from the ordinance calendar, 2013-20 and 2013-21, we wouldn't have to do that again, because that was just first reading introduction at our last meeting. So this is open for public hearing. So no public comments. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next, I'll offer and move for adoption, ordinance 2013-22.
Second?
Second?
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. That's all for our ordinance calendar. Next is public session. Public session is very simple. You raise your hand, wait to be called on, come up, and make whatever comments you'd like. First, just state your name and address for the record. Yes, Schnapp. Nope, I remember, we always have 5 minutes.
Maybe 5 minutes to get there.
Doesn't start until you start talking.
It's gonna be an easy one tonight. Just,
They're always easy.
that's good to know. I'll have to.
Name and address for the record.
302 C Street, David Schneck. The Hess trucks, 1,000
Yeah.
trucks, so what are we gonna do with all those?
We're
That's
gonna
like
give
one
them,
for every 5 residents. We're just wondering how we're gonna you know, what kind of plan you have for, you know, just, like, how many boys?
David, if you want a Hess truck, just say I want a Hess
No, I
truck.
don't want to. Actually, I was gonna suggest that, you know, I'm just wondering, like, what are you gonna do with all of those trucks? There's not that many kids that are Sandy victims that, you know.
Well, for all the toys we get.
5,000 people in town, you know?
Right, right. Well, for all the trucks and all the toys we get, we're gonna disperse them to the families in town first. Whatever's left over, and I'm sure it's gonna be leftovers, right?
Yeah,
Because
of
we're
course.
We're gonna contact the towns of Union Beach and Seabright, who, to be very honest with you, have many more
Good.
families displaced than we do.
Good answer.
So, we're not gonna just, you know, but I'll tell you tonight, on camera, we'll keep one for you.
I don't want one. I don't play with trucks anymore. But, I didn't give that up recently. But, no, I was gonna suggest that you donate it to another town.
Yeah, and again, I would, the two that come to mind are Union Beach and Seabright. They're still reeling.
Okay. And the other thing, just a little piece of information, is that Hess is actually selling all their retail gas stations, or spinning off that. So if you want to help Hess and buy gas, you should do it within the next few months, because the company, Hess, is going to be concentrating just on exploration in the near future. And the Hess stations aren't going to be owned by Hess anymore. So just a little point back.
Thank you.
So, all right, thank you. Tom wants some.
Seeing no other public comment, I'll make a motion to close the public portion, but we're going to have a special presentation for our departing colleague. I'll second.
Thank you. Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dyke? Yes. Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes, and we are just ending the public portion. We're still ending the public comment, but we're still in session.
Still in session.
So if the council would please join me off the dais. Everyone knows Claire Nike, right? Come here. So this is a proclamation, which we tried the best we could with the English language to put into on the paper how we feel about you and how the town feels about you. So I'm going to do my best on this, okay? This is honoring Council President Claire Dyke. Whereas Claire D'Ambrosio Dyke has spent 50 years dedicated to public service in the state of New Jersey, focused on bettering the lives and well-being of Belmar's children and residents. And whereas Claire D'Ambrosio Dyke served as a public school teacher for 26 years, 22 of those here at Belmar Elementary School. Whereas after retiring as a public school teacher, Claire worked on the Belmar Board of Education for 6 years and has been an active member of the Belmar Women's Club since 1999, serving as their president from 2004 to 2006, and chairing the social services and communication committees throughout those years. Whereas Claire was elected to the Belmar Council in 2007 and has worked tirelessly for the betterment of Belmar residents, serving as chair of the Mayor's Wellness Campaign, chair of the ADA Committee, council president, and member of the Harbor Commission. And whereas Claire, as council president, instituted groundbreaking and vital programming for the residents of Belmar, including Belmar Cares, a support group for breast cancer survivors, and Choose Your Cover, a skin cancer prevention program. And whereas Claire, in the wake of Hurricane Sandy, the largest natural disaster to befall Belmar, served tirelessly to protect and ensure the safety and recovery of Belmar residents. And whereas Claire and her husband, Doug Dyke, met while teaching and have been married for 47 years, raising their 2 children, Douglas and Marianne, and enjoying their 3 grandchildren. And whereas Claire has decided, unfortunately, to retire from the Belmar Council when her term expires on December 31st, 2013. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar congratulate Claire D'Ambrosio Dyke on her retirement and honor her for her 50 years of public service to New Jersey. Be it therefore resolved that the Borough of Belmar hereby recognizes Claire D'Ambrosio Dyke for exemplary and honorable service for the Borough of Belmar and our residents, for whom she has been a tireless advocate. Belmar is a better town to live in and raise a family because of her and her service. Let's hear for Claire. We have a gift certificate to a restaurant that Claire and Doug love great, which is Moonstruck in Asbury.
I'm really speechless. I've enjoyed my years as your representative. When you run for office, you're a politician. But when you are elected, you are a servant of the people. And that's how I express my time here as a councilwoman. So I appreciate it. I thank you implicitly. I love the Belmar residents. I got to know so many more residents through this particular job. And I thank you. I thank you very, very much.
Like I said, I've known the Dykes for a long, long time because Marion and Doug played in the recreation basketball program. And Claire and Doug Sr. were always there, very supportive of their children. And when you talk to Claire, no one's more important to her than her 2 children and now her 3 grandchildren. So it's just, she's just wonderful. 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to run for the council with Claire. She was my running mate. And even though she's a little bit older than me, I couldn't believe the energy this woman has. She'd go, let's do the next block. Okay, we'll do the next block. Look, I said, but Claire, look at those stairs. Let's go up those stairs, you know? And we finished that block, let's go to the next block. I mean, unbelievable. She knocked on so many doors, talked to so many people, knows so many people, that she was just a tremendous asset to the Borough of Belmar. Okay.
Came to me and gave me a couple beers and shillelaghs to say, do you want to be on council? I said, what's council? And he explained it, and I left shillelagh saying, there is no way I'm doing that. So then he asked me to meet with Claire, and I couldn't say no. What surprised me the most was we met at Dunkin' Donuts. I never met Claire before, and for the entire time that we spoke, she didn't mention politics, she didn't mention council. She told me about her husband, her kids, her grandchildren, how she supports the community, loves the residents, and I was sold. So, and this past year, I knew I would do it, darn it. This past year I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and Claire, being a survivor herself, was a huge inspiration.
Claire, you are what Belmar needed and still needs. And you're a wonderful person, and you do a great job. Godspeed, and you're going to be sorely missed.
And one other thing, and this is right, the day of social media, right? So one of the things I did today was I just put on Facebook how this is Claire Dykey's last council meeting. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to read some of the comments from folks as to what just regular people here in Belmar had to say about you, Claire. And if I can learn how to work this thing, hold on one second. So here's a couple comments. All the best to Claire Dykey. Your love, time, and service to Belmar will certainly be missed. One of the best women to walk the earth. Well done, Council President. Enjoy a little time to yourself. Thank you, Claire Dykey, for your dedication and hard work. Belmar is better because of your efforts. Thank you for your dedication and service to Belmar and its citizens and businesses. So sorry to see you go. She was a true asset to the Belmar community. Thanks for all you've done, and good luck in your new adventures. And lastly, and this is most truly said, she will be sorely missed. So let's hear it for Claire Dykey. want to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, yeah.